What's up, party animals? Manny Lore here with another Study Minute presented by Fantasy Cruncher. And today I got 3 more topics for you. First, the Mid-Summer Classic was on Friday during the weekend. Other than that, all the Sharks were pretty bad. But on Friday, we had a $200K to first Mid-Summer Classic. I think you'll be surprised who won this one. I'll have it coming up. Topic number 2, I'll give you kind of a tip, kind of a troll. I'll dive into contest selection. I'll give you my thoughts on GPPs, these 100-man tourneys. I'll talk about what you should be playing, my honest thoughts at that. And then topic number 3, NFL salaries are out. You guys may have heard that over the weekend. I'll give you my initial thoughts, who we can look at. We're still a ways to go, but there's already injuries brewing and creating value for week 1. We'll get into that. All that and more on the Study Minute, baby. Let's go. The Mid-Summer Classic took place this weekend. It was on Friday. $200K to first from Draftkings. A humongous tournament. They do this every so often, I feel, but they named this one the Mid-Summer Classic. It awarded $200K, and you actually would be surprised who took this down. I don't think you guys have any idea. Maybe you heard it over the weekend, but in case you did it, I'm here to shed a light on this winner. He's an up-and-coming player in DFS, and I'd like to spotlight him because he's pretty darn good. I also received, by the way, I love when you guys leave feedback. I got a feedback through YouTube, those watching through YouTube, and they said they love to see the actual profit, how much they entered, not just the total overall first place winning, right? So this guy won $200K. I'm here to tell you that he entered all 15 times. It was $2,222 to enter. He entered all 15 times. The profit, $199,670. $200,000. The winner, you would have never guessed. Awesemo. He took down $200K again. He's done everything. I don't know. He's done everything. I decided not to name this podcast anything with the word Awesemo because it would get redundant. It's not clickbait. I don't want to steal his thunder. That's not what I'm trying to do. But he won. He ended up winning. And looking at his lineups, it was a clear number 1 victory. He scored 188 points to take down first place in this one, $200K. He ended up cashing 7 out of his 15 lineups. Not bad. I'm not going to mention the other one. Well, I guess I briefly will. The medium 8s that same day, he also took it down. He joined all 77 times. That was the max amount of entries. He profited, this is minusing his entry fees, $48,490.66 if you needed the exact total. Anyway, he took down 2. The biggest one, $200K. Can I safely say now over $200K in winnings? Put it at $250, guys. It's all the same. $250,000 Friday for Awesemo. Other than that, I'm here to tell you that Sharks had a pretty lousy weekend. Saturday didn't feature any huge winners. Neither did Sunday. I checked both sites. Meh for everyone. Sharks kind of a down weekend outside of Awesemo's big $250,000 win on Friday. So the Mid-Summer Classic goes to the world's number 1. The United States number 1, DFS number 1, whatever you want to call him. Congratulations, Awesemo, again. You really don't need it. Topic number 2. This one's an interesting one. Got into some conversations this weekend about contest selection, right? Not specifically NFL. That's not what I'm talking about. But contest selection and what we should be playing in if we want to grow our bankroll and be better players. This is a loaded question, really, because one universal bankroll contest selection primer won't do it for everyone, right? Everyone has different goals in DFS. And speaking about contest selection specifically, we can't just say you should be only entering this, you should be only entering that. That's a loaded question because what if you eventually want to become a full-time DFS player? To realize those goals, starting out with cash games and you have a $100 bankroll, that doesn't really make sense. So diving into what the lobby has on DraftKings and hearing you shouldn't be playing large field GPPs, that's not going to get you anywhere. I beg to differ. You should not be playing cash games because that probably isn't your... It all depends on what you want to do, right? So I'm going to give you a few tips here. If you want to have DraftKings as a hobby and not as your primary source of income, you don't even have that as a goal, then sure, cash games are very much in play. Double ups, 50-50s, play them accordingly, learn how to play them really well, and you could make a few $100 on the side, depending what your bankroll is. You could make an extra 1,000 or 2,000 a month, depending on what your bankroll is. Or if you really want to spend but still want to play it really, really safe, you could make 5,000 extra playing cash games per month if you play the right way. Again, depending on how much you put into play. I really do feel you can do that. That's what I think cash games are for. My goal when I was coming up in DFS was to eventually do this full time. Luckily, I got in earlier where there was still a significant edge in all the sports, and I could go down the lobby and play $1 large field GPPs, $2, $3, $4, $5 large field GPPs, and max them out little by little as my bankroll grew. And there was still an edge to where you could make a lot of money playing there, and you could, grow your bankroll exponentially. I think that's really tough nowadays with how efficient everyone has gotten, how much information there is in the lobby. But to just say you should just go down, and for those of you watching, I have sorted the lobby by entry fees or by entries, period. To just go to the 100-man tournaments, I think it sounds good, and you probably will win more often, just a tiny bit more often. But it's not to say these are raked any lower, right? Looking at a single entry, 100-man, $5 quote-unquote GPP on DraftKings, you enter for $5, you win the whole thing, you win 70. You get second place, you get 50. You get third place, you get 40. That's cool and all. And it's a good return for $5. I'm not going to say no. And for single entry, that's really hard to beat. It's still 15% to first. But if my goals are to make a living eventually playing fantasy, which at the time were my goals, this is a tournament that maybe I'll play, sure, but it isn't my favorite tournament of all time. And it isn't the one I'm dying to get into every single day, only because, let's be realistic here. It's still a GPP. I still think you're going to grind out 10%, maybe at best. I don't know. And a first place of $70 probably doesn't move you up in stakes to where, I don't know, you scroll up and go to a $5 knuckleball. And yeah, this is much harder to win, but it's still raked pretty much the same. To first is 10% in this one. You could find some that are 15%, 20% to first. And if you win, now your $5 is $2,000. How I would gauge it is, how fast can you realize $2,000 in the 100-man tournament as opposed to the knuckleball, to where they're both raked the same. They both have the same top 10 or maybe first place 15 or 10%, and they both pay out the same amount. Like, I think you could learn to play GPPs at a really high level if you really study and turn a profit in this tournament too, while also having higher upside. So I probably won't get so in depth. My tip to everyone is realize your goals and then join accordingly, because a universal contest selection primer for everyone really doesn't make sense. Weigh out what you really want from DFS, what you think you can achieve, how much time you could spend on, say, studying and being a better player, and then join accordingly. Because saying, you should not do this, you should not do that, you should only do this, that, forget people who do that. Not everyone is the same. We all don't think the same. We all don't have the same goals. We all don't have the same amount of money, being honest. So to just think about that for a second next time you think about contest selection and where you should be. That's just my 2 cents. Topic number 3, NFL salaries are out. Pretty cool. You heard it over the weekend. NFL is finally out on DraftKings. Not FanDuel yet. FanDuel will be coming up, I think, in about a week's time exactly. I don't want to spoil the date. Not even sure I'm allowed to tell you, but I do know it's the first week of August. So you guys will get it very, very soon. Anyway, the $3 $2 million play action awards $200K to first is out on DraftKings, and that's what we can take a look at. First of all, pretty cool. 10% to first, 23% in the top 10. What's not cool is there's 800,000 entries. Good luck playing this. If you were to play something like this, you really have to get off the board to even have a chance to make it into the top 10,000 of this thing. Either way, salaries are out. Couple things of note here, and a couple things I'll just shoot at you guys. Injury-related, value-related. How many guys are playing Joe Mixon? How many guys are playing Tyler Boyd? AJ Green not expected to play week 1. He injured, if you don't know, he injured his ankle. I think he rolled it. I think he's out for 6 to 8 weeks. Anyway, I think these were kind of made when AJ Green's timetable wasn't out yet, right? Not really because of Joe Mixon. I think Joe Mixon at 6'7" is actually pretty solid. He was around this area for most of last season. I think he went to 7'3". We see him at 7'7" in really good matchups last year. But 6'7" seems pretty okay considering it's at Seattle. But then Tyler Boyd, you go to Boyd and it's like, okay, well, is Boyd really a 5'8" receiver? 5,800 on DraftKings. You can go to the game log, go to last season. You see that he's around 6K at times, 7K at times, 7.5 at times. And now you wonder, is 5'8" a value for Tyler Boyd? I do think so. And if you were to dig in a little bit more, you'd find that even in really tough matchups, Tyler Boyd without AJ Green was a target monster. And that's all you can hope for in a guy that's 5'8". To give you an idea of who's around him, Alshon Jeffrey, Tyler Lockett is slightly above him. Guys like Cooper Kupp, Jarvis Landry, and DJ Moore are right under him. I think that's pretty good for a solid number one. If they play from behind, even better. And it's not a Legion of Boom in Seattle anymore. Things like this will be evident, right? If you go to the Eagles, and we talked about this on SiriusXM, if you go to the Eagles and you see guys like Jordan Howard at 4'2", playing at home against Washington, where they're 9-point favorites, things like this will kind of be chalky. But it's just good to have salaries out, kind of look over what's going on. I love looking at it, reading into these things, and seeing potentially who could be value for now. Keep an eye. There's going to be a ton more injuries, I can only assume. And throughout the preseason, stuff never goes as planned. So it's cool to have them out right now. It's cool to just take a look at them, browse over who can be chalk, who cannot be chalk. But keep in mind, we got a long way to go to week one, man. It's good to see the salaries, though. I absolutely love it. Thank you guys for listening as always. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. I hope this one translated better for the podcast audience and the YouTube audience. I'm trying to grab you both at the same time. If you guys can rate, like, and subscribe, that'd be awesome. Other than that, I had a great time. Brand new week, brand new streams on Twitch. I hope you can catch me there. If you can't, I'll do the same thing tomorrow. Catch you guys then.